Now that we've made our final adjustments associating that flow to the catalog item, it's time to do some testing. So back in ServiceNow, if you would search for Service Catalog, should be one of the first ones that comes up under self-service. Remember the location of our catalog item we set to Service Catalog and then under Services. So we should find it here. If not, you can, as long as it's published, you can search for it under Search Catalog. I see mine listed right here on block request. And I'm going to keep testing with Mr. Andrew Jackson because I know that he's currently unblocked, so I don't expect to see any changes made, and I expect to see a blocked equals false documented in a ticket. So just to recap, if we could bump over to Flow Designer, show you what's happening here. I just submitted the service catalog. It's going to pass those variables from what I selected to this custom action that we created. And if the user's not blocked, which Andrew's not blocked, blocked equals false, we should see that updated in the request item. So that should be plenty of time for that to run. Let's jump into the request and then down to the item level, and let's check the work notes. So first thing I see is state is closed complete. So perfect, that worked. And there are some beautiful work notes. Andrew Jackson blocked equals false. No changes have been made. So that is excellent. That is functioning as expected. Let's go back to Service Catalog and then let's test the opposite. Let's test a user who is blocked and let's see what kind of response we have. I do have a user staged. I have Adela, who is currently set to blocked equals true. So let's submit one for Adela, order now. And again, just to give you that overview, in Flow Designer should be finding that the blocked status equals true. So we should see it come down to this update one, and we should see that information documented in the ticket with the update. We should see that modified count equals 1. Let me click into the request and then into the item, and not good, test failed. So the state updated closed complete. So we know that it hit this part of the ticket, but we don't see that modified count getting updated. We still see that as 0. So the first thing that we can do is we can test our REST message. So let's start at the beginning. So our REST message is the one that is actually performing the task that the script is making use of. So let me go to REST message. Let's find that update one. And let's test with Adela's username. So Adela's already listed. Go ahead and click test. And that's a lot better. I see an HTTP status of 200 and a modified count of 1. So we know it's not the REST message. So I'll get back to Service Catalog as a placeholder. The next thing we need to check is the flow, because there's only one place where the REST message is being called from, and that's inside the custom action in the flow. We know it's not this one because this one worked just fine with Andrew, so we're going to focus in on this one. If you highlight that over on the far right hand side, you'll see Open Action in Action Designer, and that bumps us back out to where we were. All right, so user ID, is listed as the input. On the script step, input variables, we have none. So when we did the find one, we forgot to update the output variables, and when we did the update one, we forgot to add the input variables. So this is likely the reason. So let me copy the user ID over to this parameter, and then let's use the breadcrumbs to map that to the input user ID variable. I'm just going to quickly run over this to make sure there's nothing else missing. I see inputs user ID. I see our response body listed. I see our output variables response body, and then I see our action output already set. So pretty confident this is the issue. Gonna save and publish. And there's our flow. Flow's already active. We shouldn't need to make any changes to that. Let's get back to ServiceNow. And I'm going to try to remember who that other user was that we had. We had Andrew, we had Adela. Let's see if it'll come to me. Unblock request. Who's our other user? Oh, Abel. Abel is currently set to block. Let's grab Abel, confirm training is completed, and hit order now. So since we've updated that custom action, we should see correctly it hitting. We should see a modified count of 1 notated into the work notes. So if I select that request and then jump down to the item level, perfect. Alright, so state is closed complete, and modified count equals 1, which is exactly what we were looking for.